Now, you know, as an economist, there will be a time where you have to make decision about business. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so we now want to look at under what situation, under what different situation do you make decision, and how do you make those decisions objectively? Because if you want to make decision as an economist, you don't make decision like a pepper seller.
No.
Who will just make decision based on assumption and say, well, I decide not to go because of this. I decide to go because of this. You are expected to do some calculation, and then that calculation will now help you to make a reasonable decision. So that at the end of the day, if somebody asks you, why do you make the decision, you'll be able to tell them that, oh, this is the reason. So the first thing we want to look at is, what is decision? So decision is defined. Decision is defined as the choice made. Decision is defined as the choice made out of several alternatives. Decision is defined as the choice made out of several what? Alternatives. So they can now ask you, what is decision making? So of course, the only thing you now add to the definition is that process. So decision making is the process of making choice out of several alternatives. The process of making choice out of several alternatives. The process of making choice out of several alternatives. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Now the next thing is that we will now look at decision making situations. Decision making situations. Your pen? We are another one.
This is black.
All right.
It's black.
You don't want black. Can you use red pen?
It's fine, sir. Don't worry.
Are we there?
Yes, sir.
So when you say decision making situations, I want you to listen. I'll always give you time to write. Now, if you want to make a personal decision or you want to make business decision, you can make it under three situations. Under uncertainty, under risk, and under certainty. Now, when you are making decision under uncertainty, it means that you cannot predict the outcome of your decision. Are you with me?
Yes.
So, making decision under uncertainty means that the decision maker cannot predict the outcome of his decision. And you will agree with me that there are some decisions like that. Is that not?
Yes, sir.
So that you are not, you don't even know what can happen. The decision making under risk is when the decision maker can predict the outcome of the decision. So what is the difference between the two?
This is like uncertain.
I don't want to use the word I don't want you to
This
use
is-
the word
Okay.
uncertain.
This is you're not sure.
Unknown
You're not sure of the
of the outcome.
outcome.
We are not
here,
sure of that. What do
but
I
here
mean?
you are sure.
No, you are predicting
The
the
outcome.
results, like the
You are sure
outcome
of
of
the
the
results,
decision.
but how do you put it? Sir?
You're not sure either.
You know about
This one, you say you are not
You're
sure.
just
This one,
predicting what will be the outcome.
now, this one, I said the key word there is you cannot predict
Predict
the outcome
the
of the
outcome.
decision.
Yeah.
This one, you can predict
the outcome.
the outcome. It doesn't mean you know.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't say you know.
Yes.
Okay, let me now ask you. Choice of having a husband, getting married to a guy, what type of decision is that? Is it decision under uncertainty or decision under risk?
It's risk. you know the outcome, but you don't really. Is it risk?
It's uncertain.
Can you really predict a guy?
It's
No,
uncertain.
It's uncertain.
So those are some of the things we look at. Because after finishing this topic, you should be able to apply it personally.
Yes.
So you should be able to know that, oh, this decision I'm making, I can't predict the outcome. So I don't even want to. But this decision I'm making, based on this and that, I can predict that this is what will happen. You are not. But certainty, you are sure.
Sure, 100%.
You are sure of the outcome of that decision. So a lot of people used to mix uncertainty and risk. And I don't want you to be making that mistake. So that's why it is better for you not to use sure or not sure when you are defining it.
Okay.
So decision making on that uncertainty is when the decision maker cannot predict the outcome of his decision. Can you give me an example of some decisions that if you make them, you can't predict the outcome?
Investment, business investment.
No. That one is risk.
Is risk.
Why I said it's risky, because if you want to do business, we'll have said, okay, if I put 10 million,
I'll be able to get.
I'll be able to get 4,000. Let's say once I did not get 4,000. But what of if I lose the
Bet
whole of the money?
Naija.
Bet.
Bet Naija.
What if I lose the whole of the money? You know, your head will just be looking. But at least there are some things that are in place that can make you to say, I may get this, I may not get this, I may get that. But there are some that you can't even think anything.
It's betting.
Betting is risky.
You are not even sure
You
at
have
all.
risk as well. But betting
It's
too, you can't
marriage.
predict.
Marriage.
So, yes, I agree with you. Marriage is a decision making. Even though a lot of people think, I have known the guy, we dated 4 years, we
They
dated
cannot
6 years.
predict.
I think it's a lie. You are not sure of the outcome. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be worse.
Yes.
Person can even die in the marriage. If
Before
so, when the moment you want to make a decision and you are not sure, in fact, you don't have an idea of what can happen, it's uncertainty.
So, in that word, you say decision making under uncertainty.
I will still give you notes now and explain it. So
Okay.
that's why I want you to listen. So I will give you in a proper way so that when you are reading it.
To think.
But are we on the same page
Yeah.
that you understand what the song means?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's write notes now.
Okay.
Let's write. Decision making under uncertainty. Decision making under uncertainty. Are we there?
Yes.
This is when the decision maker. This is when the decision maker.
What's going on? Oh my virus, I don't understand. This is
If your pen are not writing, I have red pen. I can give you.
So it's when your decision.
This is when the decision maker cannot predict the outcome of his decision. when the decision maker cannot predict the outcome of his decision. Have you written that?
Yes.
Then decision making under risk now. Decision making under risk. This is when the decision maker, Mr. Israel, do you have two pens? This is when the decision maker can cheat. Which one are you going to use? Yeah, take, because that barrel will make you lose concentration the way you are struggling with it.
The decision maker
Can predict the outcome of the decision.
When the decision maker can what?
Predict the
Can
outcome.
predict the outcome of
Of the
his
decision.
decision.
Of this decision.
Can predict the outcome of your decision. You know, do you guys like football? Do you watch football at all? Or you hate it?
Sometimes we watch.
You know, when you play football, you can only have three outcomes. Do you agree?
Yes.
It's either you
Win
win,
or draw or lose.
lose, or what?
draw.
Or draw. So you can predict the outcome. As you are going for this match, if we win, we'll get 10 million.
Yes.
If we lose, we will not get anything. If we draw, we'll get 5 million. We can predict the outcome of what can happen to us. So that's risk. Abi?
Yes.
So, can you tell me something that the outcome is sure? That when you are making a decision about that, you are just sure that that's what it will be. Is there anything like that? Think that as you are making the decision, you just know that that is what it will be. It can't change.
Cooking.
Cooking
They are
food.
cooking.
Cooking, Abi. As in, if you are cooking, you will
Want
know
to
that
cook
the food
jollof
will be
rice.
sweet.
You already know.
Or it won't be sweet. You know you are a lady. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, like
So
you
you are the one
are
that
sure
can tell me
of what the outcome of the food will
the
be.
food will hurt. So
And
that one
hot.
you are sure. So that means even if you are cooking nonsense too, you already know that
Like
this
to
is
be
nonsense. So
Yes. It's sure.
anything you are sure that this is what the outcome will be is
Yeah.
certainty. Now we are not going to maybe we will just look at only uncertainty today
Okay.
as a topic because we are going to do calculation for each of this. So let's now write decision making under uncertainty. Then you will now write these stuffs. Maximi, Minimax, Maximax, Laplace or equal likely, regret criteria, and ouch.
No maximum. Maximum.
First one, maximum.
Monkey.
Minimax. Maximus.
The first one is maximum. The second one is minimax. The third one is maximax.
Laplace.
Or what?
Likely.
last one.
Ulch. HURWIC. Zero. Okay. Now when you say maximum, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Maximum is like saying maximum out of the minimum.
Okay.
Maximum out of the what?
Minimum.
Like saying the best
Out of the rest.
out of the worst. Look at this. I want you to choose differently. You have a guy. You have option of these three men to marry. The number one guy is nagging, dirty,
Rich.
but available. He's available for you anytime. He's always at home. You have another guy, unavailable, nagging, and rich. You have the other guy, unavailable, dirty, and then poor. Yeah, choose one guy out of these three. You know what catch your attention for number two? Because 21st century woman, you say if you like, you go to Abuja and stay there forever.
As long as the money is
As long as I have all the money, go and die there. It's only very few people that will say, I want my guy to always be around. So
he's nagging and
I want
he's
available. I want available. You must be available. So here you have three guys, and you still have to make a decision. So you are like taking the best out of all the worst situation. That's what maximum is saying. So there are some decisions you want to make. Everything is worse, but then you still have to make a decision and pick one. Do you get?
Yes.
So that's this case. Then Minimax is like saying minimum out of the what? Maximum. For example, you have a business. You are going to make money from, let's say, 10 billion from the three businesses. But the risk of business A is debt. The risk of business B is stroke. The risk of business C is broken leg.
broken leg.
And you make 10 billion from these three businesses. But the risk involved in that business are this one. Which one will you go for?
Broken leg now.
Broken leg.
Yeah.
You go.
C. Yeah, broken leg.
Obviously, you don't want to die.
Yes.
Stroke.
You are not considering that if you have stroke, it can be treated.
It's good as dead.
It's as good as dead.
Yeah. Stroke is
So, but are you sure somebody can afford to lose a leg or his leg?
broken leg
or
lost?
Walking with crutches all the days of the
That
person's
money
life.
will be able to fix to a certain extent.
You can see that. That's what I expected.
Yes.
Why I'm interrogating is because you're already thinking of what you can do to help yourself in that situation. That is what decision making is about. You will always confront them in life. A point where you will now be seeing good out of what is bad. Because when you look at the other ones, you can't think it. So that's what all of this stuff is about. And then you now have Maximax, the best out of the best. So, you can also have a situation like that. Okay, you have a guy that is rich, handsome, and available. You have another one who is rich, tall, handsome, friendly, unavailable. Then you have another one that is rich, friendly, handsome, and then let's say religious.
Yeah.
Which one will you go for?
The last one.
Why? What
It's
attracted you?
Rich,
The
handsome,
fact
friendly,
that-
religious.
Because every
They
one
fear
of them
God.
are rich.
Yeah,
They
what
fear
actually
God.
attracted me is the fact that all the attributes are not bad. Being religious or something is not a bad attribute to someone. So
So you feel that what, you know, rich.
yes,
Handsome.
he's friendly.
Friendly also. So
Yes.
does it mean that it was this that attracted you to the third one? That's the question. If that was what attracted, obviously something must have attracted you for you to pick the third one.
Yes, now because all the criterions are almost on all of them.
All of them.
So that religious,
Oh, yeah.
it chases away the unavailable.
The one
Okay, so now, if your mom now asks you, these three guys are, so let's talk now. Which one will you go for?
It's still religious, but it's
You
a
will now-
husband.
You will now say, okay, I want to go for C because of this thing you are telling me. So we have agreed that all of them are good, but you want to get the best out of the best.
I will choose A.
So you will
You
choose A.
Unavailable.
No, available. He's rich,
Okay,
handsome, and
okay, it's
available.
available.
And then you don't know the status of this. Maybe he's a chain smoker. You don't know.
I prefer C. Because since he's a religious person, he will fear God to an extent.
And that's what some ladies are
Don't be
looking
running
for.
about
They
after
want a
other
God-fearing man.
Yes.
Even though some people don't care. If you like, don't be God-fearing. If you don't
Forget
fear
the
God,
money.
I will make you fear me. They will tell the man like that. You don't want to fear God, no worry, you will fear me. So, we are not going to be calculating. So they will give us a question. They will now say we should use all of this method to calculate. This Laplace or equal likely is like average. When you are trying to look for average of something, there are some times that you have to make a decision. You are not too sure. You now be like, okay, what's the average of everything? Let me go for that. Because you can't go for the highest, you can't go for the lowest, you can't go for the middle one. You just, okay, let me get the average. I think I can go for the average. Then the regret criterion is a situation where you've tried as much as possible to eliminate all the bad things out of the decision. You now select out of the remaining that are few. You know, it's possible that you want to do something and you can do it in 4 ways. But you feel that, don't let me even try this option. And don't let me try this option because of something. Let me pick my option out of these two. You know, there are situations like that. When you are doing that, when you eliminate the ones you think you can't even go there, and then focus on the one you think you can go. That's what this is talking about. Then, all which criterion is talking about, at times in life, you will lose to win some.
Sorry, in that regret, what are you now regretting since you have chosen?
No, this regret, don't look at it
the
from the
regret?
angle of
Okay.
when you regret something that you do. That's
Okay.
not what it means here.
Okay.
Do you get?
Okay.
So, all which, you know, at times you give in some, maybe your husband now say some things you don't like, or he wants you to do something you don't like. You can say, okay, I've heard. And then you just do it because you want peace to reign. You make a decision, not because you really like it, but because you feel, let me just do this. Why? Because before now, me too, I've been saying he should do what I like, and he has been doing it. I don't know if you get me. So, like for example, my brother, if you are watching TV together, I like to watch football, he likes to watch news. So if he's watching news and I want to watch football, I will say, okay, no problem, watch your news. I will sacrifice not watching the football. And they do that for like 2 or 3 times. So another time, when I'm watching the football, you will have no choice than to sacrifice for them. So there are some decisions like that.
Yeah.
That's what this which is talking about. So you look at some good decision at some point, then some bad decision at some point. So let's go into the calculation now. But you know, I don't want to jump into the calculation without, you know, making you see the real life application of what we want to do. So the real life application is all of this explanation I'm just giving you. So given now look at a traveler who can either travel to Aba, Jos, or Imo, and he can decide to travel by road, by air, or by what? By sea. And now he has to make a decision. Where do I go through what means? Should I go to Aba through road, or Jos through road, or Imo through road? Or should I go to Aba by air? And then if I make any of the decision, these are what it will cost me. So all these numbers are looking like cost. So when they give you the question like this, they will now say, what is the best decision using the following criteria? So 1, maximum. 2, Minimax. 3, Maximax. 4, Laplace. 5, equal likely. 6, regret. Criteria. And then 7, ouch. So this is how a typical question will come. Now let's do this together. Are you with me?
Yes,
Don't write. I'll give you time to write. Let's solve it together till we finish. I'll now give you time to write. So let's start with the first one. Now the number 1 is maximum. Maximum means what?
Choosing the best.
Maximum out of what?
Out of the
Minimum.
minimum. Yes.
So like say picking the best
Out of
The lowest.
the
the
lowest,
best. Yeah.
The lowest.
out of the worst,
Yeah.
or out of the lowest. So now by the time you do this, so you write the stuff about just, you know, by road, by air, by sea. What are the figures? 40,
40,
80,
80, 10,
10.
50, 60, 45,
And what?
30,
30,
90, 70.
70. So look at the way I'm going to do it. We're writing the question first. Then I will always start from the back.
Okay.
So I write minimum.
Minimum.
minimum means I want to pick the lowest. What's the lowest in this one?
10.
What's the lowest?
50.
45.
45.
What's the lowest?
30.
Now, out of all these lowest, which one is the highest?
45.
Maximum. Do you see that? So I will now pick 45 because it's the highest out of these three.
Yes.
Do you get that?
Yes.
So you now trace the 45 to the question. You can see that 45 is high.
Yes, sir.
So I will now say using maximum, the best decision is to travel by air to where? To Imo. You know that 45 is under air
Yes.
and then to Imo. Do you get the concept? You will first pick all the lowest and then you bring the highest. That's for maximum.
Yes, sir.
Number 2, Minimax. Minimax means minimum out of what? Minimum out of the maximum. So like saying, picking the worst out of the best. Okay. Now, you write the stuff again. So you have about, just, Imo, road, air, and what? C. What are the figures? 40, 80, 10,
50, 60,
45, 30, 90, 70.
So like I told you, always start from back.
Yes,
So
sir.
you pick maximum first. Are you with me? So what's the highest in this one?
80.
80. Abi?
Yes, sir.
What's the highest?
60.
60.
90.
What's the highest?
90.
90. Out of all these highest, you will now pick the lowest. Minimax. You know it is minimax,
Yes,
Abi?
Yes.
So that is minimum out of this maximum.
Yes, sir.
That's 60.
So
So if you
just
trace that, the person, so using Minimax,
the best decision
the best decision is what?
to travel by air to Jos.
Is to travel
By air to Jos.
by air to where?
Jos.
To Jos. You see the way we are doing it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the third one, Maximax. Number 3, Maximax. That is like saying maximum out of what?
Minimum.
Out of maximum.
After mountain.
Let's start on best.
You know,
Okay, picking the
Maximax.
yes.
Maximax.
Picking the best out of the
maximum.
best.
So now, look at that. You have Aba, Jos, Imo. And then you have road, air, and what? And sea. So the figures are what?
40,
40,
80,
80, 10.
50, 60, 45, 30, 90, 70.
So what's the highest here?
There is
80.
Maximum. That's 80,
60, 90.
60, and what? 90.
90.
What's the highest out of this?
90.
So maximum is 90. So what's the best decision?
It's